Gotta make music, you wanna move. Still some know the vibes. Round two, still. Put a mix on a Pro Tool. Yes. About to get rich from a vocal. Yes. Community boy, they know me. It's mad how the block don't know you. I'm trying to go global and local. It's my car, everybody know that I'm social. Craden, the hero, they're calling me a mogul. Headline, next one's O2. How many hits did we drop, man? I'm losing the toll. If I told you the things we're about to show you, they gon' think I'm lying. I had a clash with Poet, it's all good though. Iron sharpens iron. Can a real shady stand up if a fake one does start testifying? So we kept on rising, even though when we started it was terrifying. It was petrifying. Had an Elon money with verifying. Young boy kept trying, now he's flying. That's somewhere in Zion. My Air Force One's just walking through the valley of death. This one's a tire. New year, who this? Think about time that I got a new wrist. Flow getting dumber, don't be stupid. Nearly Elon.
During my divorce trial, and I realized that it was never love, it was just a transaction. Wow, so we did a whole marriage and did the whole duration of a child and starting a family just to find out that it was all about money, status, transaction. Imagine me being the only actor in a relationship to then realize that I was in a relationship for 5 years with one of the best actors I've ever met in my life. At the courtroom during my divorce trial, and I realized that it was never love, it was just a transaction.
Hey guys, and welcome to Dark Arts. Listen, let's not play around with it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Let's not play around with it. We're talking about Dark Arts here, where we help you guys navigate relationships and avoid the influence, the control, and the bamboozling and the manipulation that people like to put in relationships. Now, I want to expose something because Tyrese has come out and said, obviously, you know, he can't believe he was in a marriage for 5 years, and he realized that, you know, he was married to the greatest actor alive possible. Now, unless this woman is the greatest actor alive, we need to keep it a buck and keep it 100% real. If somebody marries you for money, it's because you presented yourself as money. We need to get into that conversation. I'm going to hurt some people, and I know that, right? If she married you for money, right, it's because you presented yourself as money. If she was the greatest actor alive, it's because you two also didn't give yourself didn't also present yourself in the truest form and truest fashion. You were still acting, right? And then if someone is bamboozling people, a lot of times the reality is we don't know what we're looking for. Tyrese, I don't think he knows what he's looking for. I think his wounds are what are directing him to now date the kind of woman that he's dating. And unfortunately, what he doesn't realize is, and I said this before, that when you're in a place where you're not healed and you're broken and you're hurt, what you look for is somebody who licks your wounds. The trouble with this is, eventually when you heal, someone licking your wounds isn't cute anymore. Somebody licking your wounds isn't nice anymore. Someone licking your wounds isn't pretty anymore. Someone licking your wounds isn't needed anymore. And they become discardable, right? Now, let's say Samantha Lee was using him, right? I think part of her, she was a social climber at the time, and she admits that she had treated past boyfriends not really great. So she, as well as Tyrese, have problems, okay? And that's normal human beings. But the accusation he's making here is that he can't believe that the relationship is transactional. And my thing is, well, what did you come to the table with? Did you come transactionally? Or did you come in a place of healed and in a healed place and with love? So we're going to discuss that on the next few minutes on this Dark Arts podcast show. Hopefully you guys love what we do and get involved, and let me know your thoughts as well in the chat and also in the comment section down below. Let's get into some great conversation. In case if you're new to this channel, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. We're here every Friday talking about some real ish, okay, breaking relationships down on a deeper level. Okay, all right, so let's talk about this. I've talked about this many times. If you follow me, you know this already. Transactional relationships, Okay, how they begin. Okay, transactional relationships. Okay, how they begin. Right, let's talk about that. So, transactional relationships. The reality about transactional relationships is that people involved in transactional relationships, okay, all right, present themselves from the very beginning, right? They lack depth, they lack quality, okay? Their mind and focus is what they can get out of you, all right? Now, unless she was a narcissist, okay, and the greatest actor alive, she didn't lie. You just didn't want to hear it, right? If unless she's the greatest actor alive, she didn't lie. You didn't want to hear it. Here's the transaction that usually happens. When transaction in this case that usually happens is that a man with means sees a very beautiful woman and says, well, I'm going to go after that, without actually really fully deepening her mental state, without fully deepening what she herself brings to the table. And I say that loosely. You know what her attitudes and her values are, what she values about life and relationships. What does she actually value about relationships? Look, you spend enough time talking to a woman and a man as well, you will find out their values in life. See, if we're only having a conversation about how beautiful you are and what beautiful restaurants we can go to, you won't know the value of that person. Spending time talking to somebody actually alienates a lot of the nonsense that people go through. The reality is we're so busy trying to move that we're not staying still to see the bigger picture. You can only see the finer details in a photo or in a painting. You ever gone to a museum before? You can see the finer things in a painting when you take time, stand there and admire and take in what you're seeing, right? When we go to museums, we take our time, we walk slowly, and then we pause at each painting or sculpture. And then we take our time and we gaze upon it and we watch it and we observe it. And then we try to pick out details that speak to us. But it's time consuming. But if you're in a rush, you go and look at a painting and go for the one that's the most prettiest, but it doesn't necessarily speak to you, right? You ever done that before, going to a gallery? Like you go in a gallery. I was in a gallery in Ghana and I had some photos, which I loved the gallery. And you know, I spent probably about an hour or two in the gallery. Now, I could do the gallery, you can do it in 5 minutes. You can walk around quick, look at it quick and be out. But I wanted to take my time. I wanted to take in, and I started asking myself questions. What is the story behind this painting? Why did he paint the way he did, or she paint the way she did? Why did they use the acrylics, or why did they use the pastel here? Why do they just use black and white drawing? I started asking myself questions, even though the painting can't respond. Why? Because I wanted to get a level of depth from this painting. And that is how we have to look at relationships. It's art. And art must be consumed in a level of patience, right? Okay, old school art. Let me say that, because a new school art, people just want to digest it in a few seconds. But art, the beautiful art of, you know, painting and drawing and that, it is the painstaking time the person takes to do something, and your ability to be patient enough to go, that's speaking to me, but why is it speaking to me? And ask themselves questions. And that's how relationships should be. Now, the reason why things become transactional is because they began that way. The reason why relationships become transactional is because it began that way. If Samantha Lee was treating Tyrese like a transactional individual, well, guess what, sir? Guess what? That's how the relationship began. Because what was her value? What was her attitude? How did she see life? Stop putting the blame on her about how she came and took your money. And I hate when men them be like, these girls only want our money. Well, you keep flashing your money, number one, and let me not go too far into my next point, right? You keep flashing your money, you keep leading with your money, of course. Now, we're going to talk about this as well, about how when you're rich, you have to be very careful how you maneuver. Okay, when you're wealthy, you have to move a different way. Okay, so yeah, no, it is important to understand that transactionally things begin that way. They didn't just happen to be that way. All right, but you advertise in a particular way. You know, and you know, you've chosen this woman because something about her, probably her beauty, probably her poise. You know, you got excited about what she presented on the surface and didn't get deeper. Okay, and didn't get deeper. All right. So yeah, if he closed the wallet, he would have seen a deeper purpose. Absolutely, absolutely. My point number two is, point number two is, what did you advertise? Okay. Now I said about how transactionally it began that way, but what did you advertise? Okay. How did you advertise yourself? See, especially when you've got money, you have to advertise yourself in a different way. For instance, when people meet me on YouTube, they know me as a YouTuber, they know me as a relationship aspect. But when they meet me on TikTok, they meet me as a dancing guru. I shouldn't say guru, but a dancing fiend, right? That's how they meet me. They meet me as a dancing theme, right? Depending on how you meet me, right, is you get a different version of me. Why? Because I'm multifaceted. But if I'm now talking to somebody, right, I'm not trying to impress them with fancy restaurants. I'm not trying to impress them with my money. I'm not trying to let them know that's what I value. What I value is my mind. So if I talk to a girl, my first thing is, what am I advertising? I want to advertise my mind. You know what I mean? I'm going to be witty. I'm going to be funny. I'm going to be humorous. Yes. But I'm also going to be deep as well. And then if you can handle the deep, then I'm going to be like, okay, maybe we can get somewhere. Okay. Maybe she got something about it. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something I can work with here. Yeah. Cause you got the deep, I'm taking my time to talk and break things down, and you're like, yeah, you're with it. You're understanding the concepts. Okay, well, we're starting to be somewhere, right? And so now I can start. Now I've got that interest of you. I still have to ask questions around your values, though, right? I'm not going to marry a non-Christian because that's important to me, right? See, if you get your values in alignment, then you test everybody by your values. You filter everybody out by your values. What do you value? And that's probably another point I'm making. But yeah, what did you advertise with? That's the key question. What did you lead with? If you led with your money, big restaurants, big dates, trying to impress her with the biggest things, right? Then by all means, unfortunately, you probably are going to get somebody who's invested in your money because your advertisement worked. Right? Your advertisement worked. So of course with with Tyrese, he's gonna feel some type of way. But the reality is he's a good businessman. Your advertisement worked. You sent out the advertisement and she responded accordingly. She likes what you like. She believes in what you gave. She believes in what you proposed. So yes, of course, she came for the money. You know what I mean? That's where accountability comes into play as well. What did you value is a good question, right? What did you value? Having your values in place is a very important thing, right? Once you get your values in place, all right, what you cherish, how you see things in life, how you want to maneuver your perceptions in life. Do you value family? Do you value time spent together? Do you value building a partnership? What are your values? You know what I mean? Like without going too deep in it, what do you value? Because that's going to be your filter system. For me personally, I value somebody who's a Christian, their faith. I value the fact that somebody is of intellect, right? I value people that are kind, compassionate, loving. I value people who know how to measure their words, who know that their words are impactful. I value somebody who's an encourager, right? I value people that understand my relative humor, right? We have relativity, or we should say we have things in common. For instance, we have sports in common, or you love reading books, or you love challenging me, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Right? You love self-development. Maybe we got to see those things, right? That's very important. What I value. Do we align in those values? And then you watch as well how people get treated. I'm watching how you treat other people. When you come and tell me stories about friends and family, how do you treat them? What's going on? How you perceive them? How do you perceive people? Those are all things I'm measuring you by, right? You feel me? And so there's a process of time. How do you handle me? How do you handle me? So yes, you know, what do that person want from that relationship? What do they want? Important to find out what they actually want from a relationship too. Okay. So that's also a part of it as well. Let me just bring back the video real quick. Okay, let's just listen again quickly what you said.
Wow. So we did a whole marriage and did the whole duration of a child and starting a family just to find out that it was all about money, status, transaction. That imagine me being the only actor in a relationship to then realize that I was in a relationship for 5 years with one of the best actors I've ever met in my life.
Goons always be saying that these women be acting, and then when women say the same thing about men, oh, these men are actors, they literally change a relationship. We tell them to choose better. They were always that way. So he doesn't get a pass now saying she's the best actor. I didn't see it coming. When we tell women to choose better, because they should choose better, because he wasn't acting that well. You were just ignoring the red flags, and that's the reality. Tyrese, you ignored the red flags. You saw them there and you ignored them. Okay, you saw them there and you ignored the red flags. Let's talk about this. The wealthy have to move in a different way. Okay, all right. The wealthy have to move in a different way. When you are wealthy and you have money, you have to move in a different way. Because when you've already got money, if you're not sure about how people's intentions are towards you, then you are in fact finding missions. You almost have to become, like I say to the women, you have to shut up more and listen more. If you're wealthy already, well established, you have to do something different to what men usually do. You have to listen more. You have to do what I tell women to do, which is be quiet, because you need to find out what they actually think and feel without you informing them that. So when you're getting to know the person, and of course, you might release some information, of course, as you're going along, right? But you're gonna want to be able to find out what they actually think, right? Like you know, Samantha's a very switched on woman. Very switched on, right? There would have been some instances of behavior that you wouldn't have liked, but you continue to move forward with. You see what I'm saying to you, right? It's about mature growth, but it's also about understanding as well that I need to move in a different way. I need to find out what you value, which is my previous point, which is what I'm saying about moving in a different way. You can't move as civilians do, because you're not a civilian anymore. Tyrese is not a civilian. So moving like one, where you know, where you're not careful about how you move, would always get you caught up, right? I did some notes, and I was talking about how the wealthy should move, and the wealthy, look, you have to change the terrain. You can't do what us normal people do. You're not trying to impress her. That woman already knows who you are. She already knows you got money per se, right? If she already knows who you are and already knows you have money, then those two are already locked in. You need not do the biggest things. I'm not saying take her to McDonald's like Ocho Cinco, but what I'm saying is change the way you date it. Do things that are going to improve quality of time. Do things that are going to improve quality of time. Do things that are going to test your time with the person, right? Whether that's you going on picnics, maybe you going on some long walks. Look, she already knows you have money. So doing things that are going to involve money is great, but she already knows you have money. You see what I'm saying to you? She already knows you have status, Tyrese. So you got to change it up, right? You got to change it up. Now, you may use your money to maybe, let's say, for example, I'm going to give you an example. You may use your money to buy out a restaurant, but you actually need to spend time talking. It shouldn't be that we're spending time, you know, doing mad activities if you don't know who this person is, right? There should be enough of those dates where you're spending, and even for me, I wouldn't say this way. There should be time you spend on the phone. I don't understand why everyone goes straight to dates. You haven't even spoke to this person in person. You don't even know their mindset. You just go to a date. Why are you wasting your time going on dates and you don't know who that person is? You guys are crazy, right? You have phone in 2023. You have iPhone 2023. You have Insta, call 2023? Huh? You have WhatsApp call 2023. You can call people and have conversations and get to know them, you know. Right? You can do that already. So why are we not spending time doing those things so I can know a little bit more about you before I get into a relationship, or sorry, into the dating phase? And then you're throwing some wild ass dates, which are beautiful, but now you can't really assess that person because the euphoric feeling of going on these dates sometimes clouds the judgment. Spend time talking to these people, please. Like, genuinely, like, have conversations before you start, and then go on some dates. You know what I'm saying? What happens is people get excited. You're a baddie. You look good. Let's go on a date. All right, cool. You can do that as well. It just makes it harder. I'm not saying my way is perfect. I'm just saying I think a better way for people would be to spend time actually knowing the person's mind and what they actually value, not getting turned on by just because we went out and we enjoyed each other. Do you know what I mean? Let's talk, let's reason. Because also what you'll realize is as you're talking, maybe you'll realize, oh, this person's got certain triggers. I don't need to, okay, well, let's work. How can we work on making sure that your triggers don't get triggered in a relationship? And some people don't need to be in a relationship with you at all. Trigger happy. You feel me? So yes, when Tyrese is screaming from the back, from the window to the wall about, I felt like it was a transaction. Yeah, maybe it was. You know, but you got to pick better. Okay, all right. Like how we just saw your last girlfriend, your current girlfriend, the way she spoke and said about how she wished that Paul Walker is a better looking man, and you just laughed with it, and you were sad about it. But that kind of disrespect is from before. That disrespect that she gave to him, where she told us, oh, she fancied Paul Walker before you. Look, that level of disrespect has been there. It's not new. Yeah, for Zelly to do what she did to your current girlfriend, you're going to end up crying the same way about Samantha. Oh, I can't believe Zelly was all transactional. The reality is you've not healed, Tyrese. This person's still licking your wounds. This person is still licking your emotional wounds. This is why she's in your presence of life. Because let me tell you this now, ain't no way, ain't no dead castmate who I was boys with is who you find more attractive. And then you think that's the relationship you want to be in? You're setting yourself up for a fall. But the thing is, this has been happening beforehand. Right? The disrespect has been happening beforehand, and you've allowed it because what? She's a baddie? Because your emotional wounds need to be licked? Don't come crying on the internet and telling us that she's transactional, because the reality is you're choosing people who are licking your wounds. And when you heal, you'll realize licking your wounds ain't fun. Or when she decides or he decides that licking wounds is no longer what they want to do, you're going to realize you lost a whole partner. Madness, right? All right, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of uploads. That's the dark arts video for you guys. Want to keep it nice and short. But yeah, listen, it's a madness in the dunya. And Tyrese, we need you to do better. Okay, we need you to do better. Okay, all right. So choose better by healing yourself and looking for appropriate people that you should date. Okay, you know. So you know this whole blaming her. She is what she was. You know what I mean? You know, she is what she was. Okay, and that is the game. That is the game. You know what I mean? Look, at the other side of it, which maybe I should talk about, but the other side of it is women like, if let's say Samantha was looking for, let me remember my last point. Sorry. Let's say Samantha was, okay. Let's say Samantha was looking for you, right? The reality is, let's say Samantha was looking for you. What she was looking for is a sucker like you. Okay, and when I say sucker, I mean that in all respects, right? It sounds disrespectful though, but she's looking for someone who she can manipulate into that, right? So she's gonna play nice, right? She knows that her body and her good looks are going to charm you. She knows a few kind words are going to get you into place. You know why? Because people that don't do due diligence, okay, people that don't do due diligence always get conned. Let me tell you something, right? Yeah, I remember I got a I bought a fake phone before. You know why? Because my due diligence wasn't great. I got conned out of 5K from people that I knew. You know why? Because I didn't do my due diligence. I was too trusting, right? And I didn't want to ask questions because I was scared to ask questions. Here, you need to understand that there are people that will hunt for you. I'm not saying that Samantha did, but there are people that will literally hunt for a man like you, a man of means. And we're always talking about how women have to protect themselves from men who move mad. Well, man, we got to stop crying that women are gold diggers and acting like they don't come and hunt the same way that men go and hunt, right? So if these women are hunting for you, they're looking for any chink in your armor, which means you need to get good at discerning between who is there for you and who's there to have the money and the lifestyle. Now, here's the thing. Again, the first things we talked about earlier are what your weapons of choice are, right? If she's coming and she wants your money, you need to change the way that you begin to maneuver and interact, right? You need to change that. Now, here's the reality. Here's the reality of the situation, right? She's a very intellectual woman as well. She's very smart. I've watched some of her videos as well. And I watched her Dear Future Wifey, which I need to break down for you guys. I did the notes on it as well. Her interview on there, right? She's got a bit of a mouth on her, right? Oh, she's got a bit of a mouth on her, which means, and I've noticed Tyrese's issue. Here it is. This is it. So she's got a bit of a mouth on her. She can dress you down with a mouth. Have you noticed that Tyrese, the same thing with Zelly? Zelly's also got a mouth on her too. Tyrese, you like women that have got a mouth on them. And you said yourself, your mother also too, same thing with your mother. You are dating your mothers. Wow. I didn't clock it. You're dating your mother, right? You know, and no offense to him, I'm not saying that. I remember he was saying a particular situation where, there was some mean things that were being said, right? And I'm like, you like these women that say these mean things, Tyrese, right? Something about it is familiar. That's how she got you, right? Pretty face, okay? Pretty face, smart, intellectual, but got a mouth on her, right? Remember I said I like toxicity? You like that other aspect, that duality of the person, okay? All right? So you like them type of gal, right? But it's because you're wounded. So she saw an opportunity. If she was doing this, she saw an opportunity and took you right out the game. I'll give him a few years. I'll go for his baby. I'll go for a baby. I'll get my money up. I'll get him to pay, right? And of course, he said obviously he doesn't know why Samantha left in the end. I've never heard her reasoning per se also too as to why the relationship broke up. I don't know why they broke up. I still don't know why, which is really weird. So I don't know. I don't know why they broke up. No one seems to know why, not even her. So, for me, I think if she played you, it's because she saw the chink in the armor and because you like that meanness. Yes, Zach and Irina, right? Someone as vicious as him, because one of the things also too, he's got a mouth on him too, right? He's got a bit of a mouth on him too. So do you know what it is? Sometimes people, and this is real stuff, right? People that have a deficiency tend to look people that have a deficiency or some aspects of them which is a bit more darker will look for people who also are as dark as they are, right? People who have a little bit of a darkness will look for other people as dark as they are because it makes them feel comfortable knowing that you can contain my darkness. You understand it. When you need to heal, you need to heal. You know what I mean? So a lot of times that can happen to people because they're looking for that safety net when you need to actually heal, but you're finding people who are going to contain your particular darkness and you're happy with that. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's a bit of a interesting one. Okay. Well, listen, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. It's dark in the dunya out here, man. But we're gonna go and jump on our other YouTube as well, Little Black But now. And I know I've got the name Little Black But that should have had Dark Arts, but anyway, we're here, Sha. We're gonna talk about a little bit about Danea, sorry, Jackson, and you guys are gonna have your say as well. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and loaded, baby.